No, my lawyer said I can't be Stevie Nicks. I'm just a generic, non-specific look-alike.
Oh,
I
you're
bet,
so
Randy, you can't
funny.
wait for this one.
I can't. Oh, my first assistant in charge of social media, Padfoot, jumped off the bed because he appreciated my laughter so much.
Oh, of course.
So there's going to be some extra sound effects today, like clicky clackies on the floor. Everybody, welcome to the newest episode of the generic, non-specific Stevie Nicks podcast. I'm your co-host, Randy.
And I'm Anthony. And today we're going to be talking about Stevie Nicks' third solo album, Rock a Little. And what did you call all its 80s goodness?
That's right.
And we
It's
have
crazy.
a very, very special guest star today who you'll be familiar with if you've watched the live at Red Rocks concert,
Wow.
which I forgot was up there till just now.
Wow.
Dwight the Dove, who is the Dove in the Red Rocks video.
You're telling me we got the Dove.
He should be at your house by now. Have you not seen him yet?
Oh, let me check. Let me check. Oh, yes, here. Oh, he just flew in. And there he is, Dwight.
Hi, Dwight.
Hello.
I can't wait
Dwight.
to talk to you later.
I'm so thrilled. All right. Back to your little Dove green room.
Yeah.
Yes, the green room. So I'm excited about that. That's really, you're going to get some firsthand knowledge from that concert. And
I can't wait for that either.
I can't wait. I see what you did there. Well, let's go through a little bit of just the details of Rock a Little. It was released on November 18th, 1985, and was certified platinum in less than a month, spending 35 weeks on the charts. Now, there's this urban myth going around that she had actually recorded a different album and called it Mirror, Mirror, and that she was very unhappy with that album and scrapped the whole thing and went back to the drawing board and did Rock a Little. And that's been going around for a very, very long time. And
excuse me, I forgot to put on some jewelry today.
Oh,
I can't get it on.
Where did you get?
Is Idris Elba still here?
I think he's auditioning for James Bond right now.
Ooh, I'm sorry, it's hard to see, folks at home.
I know exactly what that is.
It's a reproduction of this little icon here, including behind a moonstone, the words "Rock a Little" are engraved.
I wonder, where did you get that, Anthony?
Is that another episode?
That might be a whole other. That's the time space episode, is what that is.
Okay.
That is definitely the time space episode. Man, we are dropping all kinds of hints for all kinds of bonus episodes that
Let's just say I'm not the only one that has one.
That's right. I wonder who else does.
I can't wait till we discuss that later also.
You can talk to me and tell me all about it.
Go ahead, Lily.
Hit it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're recording this for other people to watch. We keep forgetting that.
Oh, that's okay. We're adorable, so that's all that matters.
Hopefully.
It really is. So yeah. So people think that there was a whole other album called Mirror Mirror, and it was scrapped, and then she went back to the drawing board. But the truth is, she just recorded this in fits and starts, and some things that she recorded made the album, and some things didn't. The track Mirror Mirror itself did not make the album, but was on the B-side to Blue Denim way when the album that shall not be named was released.
You didn't hold that till the next one.
No. Which is interesting considering the title of the next album. But this is also kind of where I started like compiling. I thought about what a Mirror Mirror album would sound like to me. So I've got a playlist, and of course we will post that on our blog. But yeah, Anthony, what is your opinion of this album just as a whole? Tell me what you think.
I love this album. I know a lot of people thought, this was kind of like a downturn for Stevie
Hmm.
because it didn't sell as well as either of the first two, but it's still pretty good.
It did.
And you said it before, there's no duds on this album, in my opinion. Each one of them is special and they're very different. Yeah, it was a very solid album. I loved it. And again, changed my life.
Changed your life. Okay. Um, this is an album I did not ever own on vinyl, and I didn't get the album until after Fleetwood Mac's Greatest Hits came out, and there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you later. But I knew Talk to Me, and I knew I Can't Wait, and I saw the videos, of that. And there was a time that I also thought that this album was dated. And again, I'll
Oh,
say, yeah,
it's
but
80s, most definitely, but 80s are back.
they are. And,
Yeah.
listening to it now, like it's a vibe, like it's a really fun vibe to put on. And I like listening to the entire album a lot. But if you were to ask me about the individual songs, there's only really four songs off of this album that I'm going to put on a playlist. Like if
Okay.
I want to hear like Sister Honey, that's great, but I want to hear it in the context of the entire album, right? If I'm going to hear Sister Honey, I'm going to listen to Rock a Little from beginning to end. So, so in those terms, I think her songwriting on it was pretty good. It wasn't
Yeah.
any better or any worse.
There were more songs that she didn't write alone or that
Yes,
she didn't write at all.
right.
But opposed to other times where she did other people's songs, I thought they all fit. I
Yeah,
I would if
yeah,
I hadn't read the liner notes, I wouldn't have realized she didn't write Some Become Strangers,
right.
for example.
That's a yeah, and that's a really fun song to talk
Yeah.
about. But yeah, it was fun to listen to. I listened to this on repeat for an entire week while you were vacationing for Labor Day. And again, this is a great place to plug that you can get the complete solo studio recordings and rarities on vinyl from rhino.com, or you can stream that collection on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. There's also the physical CDs. It's a really, really great collection. And when you listen to these remasters, I thought it was very apparent on Rock a Little that the sound was a lot cleaner. You could hear the instrumentation and the vocals a lot better.
I noticed one weird thing that I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if at first I looked a couple times, so please tell maybe have a weird copy. Uh on side A, the last two songs are not in the same order as they're listed in the lyrics.
Yes, right.
Is
I
that
would.
always been like that, or is that a boo-boo someone made in this reissue?
I think it's always been like this up for this album,
Okay.
right? Yeah, because like Imperial Hotel is there at the end, and yeah, it's
I was
just
like,
not
wait a
quite
minute. I'm
right,
trying to follow along.
right. And like you would think that one side would be all of side A and the other side would be side B,
Right.
but then you've got this side starts with the nightmare, and then I'm even looking for, oh, Talk to Me is way over here. It's just very bizarre the way this whole thing is
Yeah.
is kind of laid out. So yeah, I would say that in terms of Rock a Little, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Like it needs to be appreciated as an album.
Okay.
Whereas like Belladonna and Wild Heart, I can take any of those songs off of any of those albums and throw them in a playlist. And Outside the Rain sounds really good next to Stand Back or something like that. But Rock a Little is kind of contained, except maybe for a couple of tracks. But we'll totally get into that.
I was
But
telling my husband today the timeline from my perspective, and I said, she'd been doing cocaine a while, and
yeah,
this is probably where
yeah,
it got to a point where people are like, oh, the
right.
cocaine dealer was like, really? You want more? You know,
Right. Yeah. Like I'm gonna be on vacation, Stevie. You're gonna have to call someone else, or
right.
And also, you have to remember too that in between Wild Heart and Rock a Little, she did not do a Fleetwood Mac album. There was no Mac album there.
Right.
But instead, her best friend died. She got married. She had that marriage annulled. She was going through some really heavy
Yeah.
personal things. But all right, so the very first track on here was also it was the second single, I believe. But I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about I Can't Wait. Right. I'm telling you.
My hairography doesn't have the same result, but
Right.
it's just as good.
Though we've been brush out of touch. Yeah. I always considered that don't get me wrong, I love the song. I think it's a fun song. But I always thought that it was a very real attempt to recapture the stand back magic. Like they're like, oh my God, Stevie Nicks has a dance hit. Let's give her another one. And that's kind of where I Can't Wait was born.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I agree. I mean, synthesizers, the whole thing.
Right.
But I think it, and I love it too. I love the song. I danced to it many a times on a gay club dance floor back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
When I was out. And the video, you can't compare the two videos. I'll put it like that.
Yes.
And I think had the video been hotter, it might have been closer in terms of popularity.
I think so too.
It's campy and I love it in that way.
Right.
But yeah. Like the dancers.
Stevie,
why didn't she have real dancers in that video? Why was it these rhythmically challenged friends, I'll be nice, who were like, okay, there might have been a choreographer, and he's like, all I can get them to catch is this, they can't go past this, or whatever,
Step ball change.
Not
step
even
ball
that,
change.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And then
yeah,
you and I have talked about this. The video editor had to like take the video, play it, and reverse it in order to give them any kind of interest. Oh, look, they changed angle. No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did not.
This is all video editing.
Right.
And they're just so clunky. And there's a part in Stand Back that I love in the video where it's kind of the dancers are in silhouette and they're like going like this and they're jaunty. Where were the jaunty hats, right?
Right.
And
right.
There's something in this video, they kind of just, I don't know if they were trying to emulate that, but the director's like, okay, just go crazy. And they all look like they're having strokes,
Right. Yes.
And that's not a compliment in this case.
No, it's really not. And, even Stevie has said that she looks coked out in this video and she's really mad at herself for not laying off the drugs for just a couple of days while they shot this.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's a beautiful video. It's visually appealing. It's fun.
Right.
I'm always a fan of Les Mick Fleetwood, though.
Sure. There was no point to that.
The biggest star in the video was a giant set of stairs,
Right. So those stairs always remind me of when they did Carrie, the musical, based on the Stephen King book. They made a Broadway musical out of that, by the way. That's a whole. I can go on and on.
See it. Yeah.
Most expensive Broadway flop ever, ran for 4 days and closed.
Oh, I would have been there.
Right. But the climactic scene at the very end involves a literal staircase to heaven that is exactly like the I Can't Wait Stand Back.
And it's just,
I Can't Wait stairs.
It was just cheesy, and that's the thing. I think the cheesiness of that, the cheesiness of the dancers. You mentioned she's coked up. There's the part where, and they kept it in to make her look vulnerable, where she forgets the lyric in the middle of a line.
Right. She turns to the microphone and goes,
Right. And just all these weird, and
that.
We'll edit a little clip package. We'll play over us speaking, folks who haven't seen it. Just all these weird little things. When Stand Back was like this mysterious, elegant thing.
Yeah.
I Can't Wait video brought down the song, I believe, in terms, it was a little too kitschy and cheesy,
Well,
and she might have stopped it had she been in her right mind, sort of thing.
Right. even her makeup was different from shot to shot. Like there was no
Right.
continuity in the makeup.
Oh,
But yeah,
that was
but
an
there,
experiment for the whole Red Rocks video. That
yeah, it
really,
was.
that's the way I look at it. You know,
There are
headshot,
two,
tight
right.
close-ups like this, and
Yeah, for sure. There are two shots that I love and like reenact when I listen to the song, and one of them is that kind of gold dust woman convulsion thing where she goes, yeah, like that.
I like
Right.
that.
I
Yes.
like that, and I like when they like walk through the styrofoam block of walls.
What? Okay, to get a little serious, what pisses me off about that video more than anything is that the men broke down the wall. It pisses me off so much.
Yes, I can see that. And I never thought about it that way.
Patriarchy.
That's right. That is right. What were they thinking? Stevie should have been the one breaking through that wall.
Absolutely. If not her, then the girl should have did it. That's the backup singer.
Right. Right. Something. But yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the title track, Rock a Little.
Rock a little. My favorite
Hit
part
it.
are those little baby rock a littles in the background.
Yes. There's the non-album track that's longer,
Okay.
and those are very prominent in that.
Oh, I like them being sneaky.
Right, I do
Yeah.
too. I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan of the extended edition. I like the album version the best. But there's a video which we'll put into this as well, where Stevie, and it's a really great interview. The whole thing is awesome. But she talks about that her nickname is Lily, and that when she feels like she doesn't want to go on stage, when she's too tired or she's sick or whatever, her father and her assistant and her friends would say, hit the stage dancing,
Rock a little, if you don't know what that means, it means that we kind of rock a little all our life. I rocked in my cradle for sure. And then in midlife you sort of rock on your feet and then you move onwards to a rocking chair at some point probably. So that's kind of what rock a little means. It means to rock and roll all your life. Amazingly enough, of course, in all the lots of songs that we've recorded from a year ago, is a song that I'm kind of sharing with my father because it came from my dad and from my friend Rebecca saying to me, we don't care how you feel, you have to go up there and do a show now. And so people in my other everyday funny life call me Lily. And so my dad would say, go ahead, Lily, hit it, rock a little, hit the stage, get up. If you don't feel good, go home. And Rebecca would say the same thing. And so this whole thing kind of came about as a statement to really, it doesn't really matter what your problems are, Stevie, or what is going through your life right now. What really matters is that you have to get up and go out there on stage. And that's what you live for. So go ahead and do that now.
I love the vocal arrangement of the song.
Mm-hmm.
It gets the bonus of having one of those, she says,
Yes.
parts to it, whoever she is. I guess she is her, Lily, but not her, but is.
Right.
And that line about, and the line and the exact way she I don't know, it's like she was a different character for that one line. Rock and roll ballerina, whatever. Isn't that here? Yeah.
Where else did she go?
Where else would she go? I wondered if that was a critique of the whole album from others she heard. Again, because people were like, oh, it's not this, Belladonna and Walhart were here, what's this?
Yeah, where else could she go?
Where else could she go? Yeah.
I also think that because she says this a lot of times when people ask her what other career would she take, and she's like, I'm a rock and roll singer, what else would I do? Like, at this point in my life, this is all I know how to do. And I think there's a little bit of that in it as well. But right after that lyric is where it says, she knows his daughter says, where does she live? Oh, upstairs somewhere.
That reminded me of the many times Lindsey Buckingham has said, oh, her songs are so flaky and spacey, and I don't even know why people like them. That lyric reminded me of that kind of criticism. Where does she live? Up there somewhere. Well,
Yeah.
give me lots more of Up There. Thank you very much.
Yes, right, right. It's a really, really good. Oh, thank you. I'm glad we're talking about this now because I've been looking at the liner notes in preparation for this. And
How can you read them? Still
Right,
can't read them.
right. I mean, it's the librarian granny glasses
Oh my
again.
God, those didn't help me, and mine are 2 days old.
Yes.
We
But
digest.
this was recorded in Dallas
Okay.
at Goodnight Dallas, which is a converted church. And it's the only song that I can remember, and I may be wrong about this, but from that recording session that made it onto the album. Like they were there for a week or two and they recorded about 8-10 songs. This is the only one from those sessions that actually made it onto the album.
Interesting.
So again, you've got that mirror, mirror, myth that is just
If there was
not
an
true.
alternate album out there, it would be in this collection.
Right.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, Stevie fans are really good at finding the bootlegs and the
Stevie would have
unreleased.
published it by now.
Yes.
Vault
I would
Part
think.
7,
Right. Right. So that's rock a little. I can't look at this for track order because the track order is wrong. So
Yeah.
we're going to go over here. And of course, Sister Honey's the next one.
Miss Girl, Sister Honey.
Sister Honey. It's a fun song. Again, it's one of those songs I will listen to because it's on the album, but I'm not going to be like, oh God, this needs to be on a playlist somewhere.
My husband has already added this to his beach playlist after hearing it today for the very first time. I said, I want you to listen to a song. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. We were in the car and I put it on. And before the vocal started, I said, do you know this song? He's like, no, but it's 80s, right? And I said, it is. He's like, it's R&B or is it hip hop? It's one or the other. And I always tell you that, Randy. That's what I hear. Randy has said this before. I'm a hip hop head from all the way back before it was crossover popular. And so many Stevie Nicks songs, we can talk about Dreams later, are to me like R&B or hip hop songs. And when Sister Honey starts, that's what he heard.
Yeah.
He added it. And so, I said to him, I always insert the Miss Girl before the Sister Honey when she's singing in my head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it fits perfectly. I just did it in my head. It fits. Yeah. It's a fun song.
And I love, again, a lot of folks who are not big Stevie Nicks, not that they don't like her, but they don't know who she is. Everybody knows Dreams. And every reaction video you see like on YouTube, when she says, players only love you when they're playing, everybody reacts, right?
Yes.
It's like players is slang and all that, right?
Yeah.
When I was reading the lyrics for this one, I didn't realize there's one line that's just the word saying, not saying, saying, not with an ellipse.
Yes. Yeah.
And, just saying, I don't know. My girl is a frustrated hit. I want her to work with I don't know, some hip hop producer one time and let him do whatever he wants before it's too late. So if you have money or access to Stevie, please let her know. Because I think it could be phenomenal.
She worked with Dallas Austin and only one song.
Ran screaming out of there.
Right. And we're going to talk about that during Trouble in Shangri-La because you and I have very different opinions on that particular song. But yeah, it's a fun song. Yeah. It really is.
I love the way she says fast, like a jet plane. Fast. I can't do it. Sorry, everybody. And this is another song with the he says, she says stuff. He says, don't let your golden hair get in the way, baby. I love when she does that.
Yes. And that's a callback to Golden Braid, which I love. That it's a callback to Golden Braid because she's, hiding behind her hair in Golden Braid.
There's a lot of that in this album that I didn't realize until today. I have some notes for when we get there.
yeah, for sure. All right. So then we get to Imperial. No, is it Imperial Hotel?
I Sing for Things?
It's I Sing for the Things.
Okay. So I want to I know we had talked about it. You wanted to talk about the Titans reference around this album, and I want you to do it here because I have a reason, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So, we're always trying to figure out where Raven is in the time of the album's release, because at the same time Stevie Nicks was popular in the 80s, so was the New Teen Titans. It was an incredibly popular comic series.
And I'm 22 years
Yes.
old.
I am, let's see, 85. I am 13. Right.
14?
13.
13.
I'm 13.
Okay.
I'm 13 years old. And at this point in my life, I'm reading Teen Titans, but I'm not listening to Rock a Little. Like, I'm reading the comics.
And I'm doing both at the same time.
Right. And this is during Crisis on Infinite Earths. Raven has disappeared at the end of the Terror of Trigon storyline. So she is nowhere to be found.
And they literally have a panel in the book. For those who don't know, Crisis on the Infinite Earths, DC Comics, who originated the multiverse decades before Marvel ever mentioned it, pet peeve, had a series that went across the entire time of their, from 1940s, 30s comics through 1980s. Yep. Every character that ever existed had a part. They were all interacting. There's 3 Supermans from all the Infinite Worlds and all that stuff. And they literally take a pause in either the first or second issue to say nobody can feel Raven. Like,
yes,
he's not here.
Right. And I made a joke when I was writing out the script for this, but that's probably how Fleetwood Mac felt when they were recording Tango in the Night and Stevie was nowhere to be found. But this would be a Teen Titans crossover issue. I like that particular issue because Cole, who was a character who was created specifically to die in Crisis on Infinite Earths, like, that's so sad.
Yeah. But when they do that, usually you don't care.
Right.
So they did a good job because you did care when death happened. You did care.
Yeah. Absolutely, I did. Okay, so that's where
I Sing for Things is a Raven song, in my opinion.
Okay.
It always has been.
Okay.
I'll take down my cape for you.
For you. Yeah.
I will be vulnerable. I'll chance the 4 eyes showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want, that's what I think.
It is. And I'm glad you brought that up because, we had different opinions during the Wild Heart episode about what songs were antagonistic and what songs were vulnerable. And there's no doubt about it. This is a vulnerable song. And it's even in her vocal delivery. Which
I think I've read she was not happy about. And I'm like, what is your problem, woman? This is incredible.
Right. So she had never performed this live until the tour that she's on right now. And in the introduction to that, she's like, I was in a really bad spot in my life. And so I didn't give enough on the vocal. And it was just, so I'm really happy to do it again for you. And I'm like, oh my God, that was perfect.
It was. She was practically whispering at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one of the 2 songs that goes right to my heart when I listen to this album. I mean, it goes right there because it's just it's heartbreaking, and that's what the song called for. And I'm sorry that she went through all of this stuff, and I wish she hadn't, but the silver lining is that, like even she has said, tragedy makes great art. And so I'm glad that she came out of the other side of it. And I'm also glad that she created this piece of art for those of us that when we go through things, we can rely on her music to help us get through.
And I still do. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think, like you were saying, that this album is, better than the sum of its parts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you, but some of these songs are really important to me. So I don't know. I'm not all the way in agreement with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like this song is very important, but I still don't pull it off and put it onto a playlist. Like, I want to hear it in the context.
Well, see,
of
that's
the
why
album.
I'm enjoying us doing this. Is I've made a list. I haven't made a playlist yet, but I've made a list of the little baby orphans that I've ignored over the years, and I'm going to try to sort them into some kind of playlists.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
For the folks out there listening and watching, we'll put that in our blog and
Someday.
someday. No promises today. But also, this is a good point to remind people to like and share and subscribe. And I know how annoying that is on YouTube videos, but it really does help. And we're seeing
I just
more
can't
and more
believe I'm now
people.
the link is in the bio guy.
Right,
You know.
right. We are those people now. And I don't know how that happened. I really don't.
So we have no merch yet. And to make us do it, next episode, we will announce the rules for winning the box set that we're giving away.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. All right. So, Imperial Hotel. It's a fun song. I don't need to put it on a playlist, but I love the fact that it was used in a documentary about the Imperial Hotel in Japan.
And now I have to find this to watch it.
Yeah, yeah. So the Imperial Hotel in Japan was a very famous hotel designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, who's one of my favorite architects. The fact that I have a favorite architect may be a source of concern, but I do. And
you know where she lives.
Right. The Imperial Hotel.
I like the song a lot. I really do.
Yeah.
I that's going to be on my orphan playlist for sure.
The lyric, she sits around the table, the same glass table.
And the delivery of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think she's talking about a coffee table, though. I don't know why it's never like a full-size dining table. In my head, she's at a coffee table.
Could be.
Sitting on the floor, crying to her friends.
Yeah.
You know,
while she's on her mattress on the floor, the little coffee table's right next to her. Yeah.
There might be a razor on that table.
And someone's probably baking a cake, officer.
Yes, sure. Yes. All that flour. It's a mess. But yeah. I have not much else to say about that. We're going to do Some Become Strangers, and then we will take a break for our fantastic little interview, which I'm so excited about. So, Some Become Strangers is a song that Stevie did not write. It was written by the Williams brothers, who were twin grandsons of Andy Williams. And so she took Some Become Strangers and she gave them a song called You Like Me. And we had heard about this song for forever. And I had the Williams brothers recording for a long time. It was on a cassette. And I think it's on YouTube. I think it's the only album they ever put out too. But just like 2011, 2012 or something, finally her version of the song leaked. So it's on my like Mirror Mirror playlist, and it's really good. And I really wish it had made Rock a Little. But Some Become Strangers is a really good like breakup relationship ending.
Again, I would have swore she wrote it if I hadn't known she hadn't written it.
Yeah.
Lyrically, she just sells it the way she performs it. It's really good. Her voice is good with it. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
It's an unrequited love song, which I consider is her specialty. You know?
Right. She's really good at that.
And it's almost a little raveny. But it's interesting, Randy. I noticed in the lyrics, we talked about this last week. The lyrics liner note lyrics do not have all of the lyrics. There's many lyrics in these songs that do not make it here. And one of them is, "Come on, take his soul
away, stranger." No, that's on there.
I'm looking at it right now. You tell me where to look. At least as often as they say it, it's not.
No.
There's a part where the background singers chant it like 6 times, and she's not singing it. It's not there.
No. You're right. It's not on the lyric sheet, but it's in the song. You know what else isn't in the song? Baby Yo. Baby Yo. I think she should win a Grammy just for that.
It's better than I said hey baby, but we won't talk anymore about it.
Oh, we're going to talk about that later.
Again, this was another song where some of her vocalization choices, I don't know what to call it. I don't know. Like I said, it was almost like she inserted another character.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was almost like Reagan from the Exorcist. I don't
Mhm.
really need this in my life. You know,
Right?
the way she did
Yeah.
that, I don't know. I loved it a lot. I thought it was creepy.
Yeah. It's a fun song. It's a good song, and it's a great unrequited love song.
And there's
It
shady
really is.
part too, because
Yes.
part of me went,
Right.
what? Part of me still does,
Part of
but
me, yeah. Part of me used to love you, part of me still does. There
there's
we
a
go.
shady interpretation of that.
This right here is why some become strangers, right? This is
Come
why
on,
people get dumped, and you're about to get dumped.
come on, Raven, take his soul.
Yeah.
Or karma
Away
possess him,
from the,
something.
yeah, yes, yes. All
If
right.
you're a
Well,
comic geek and you got those references, please let us know in the
that,
comments.
yeah, for sure. And also, if you disagree with our interpretations, we'd love to hear what yours
Oh
are.
yeah, tell us all about it, but you're wrong. I mean, we'd love to
Yeah,
hear it.
yeah. All right. Well, that is the end of side one, which means we are going to take a break
It's
from the
time for
album.
our special guest. Welcome back, everybody. I am so excited. It's time for our special guest. Hollywood has had many success stories from the animal kingdom. Lassie, Roy Rogers' horse Trigger, Flipper, Ed Sheeran, but not every animal has been able to sustain a career in the fast-paced life of the 1980s. Having been a recluse since his only appearance in Live at Red Rocks, he has agreed to his first interview here on the Generic Non-Specific Stevie Nicks podcast. Please welcome Dwight the Dove.
Hello, Anthony. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to tell my story.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Dwight. I really appreciate it. I want to use your time wisely because it really matters to me. So, how did you get that gig in the Red Rocks concert?
Let me tell you something. You would not believe this, but it was a brutal audition process. First off, Stevie was insisting that Max Welton from the Belladonna cover be hired again. But here's the thing. After appearing on Belladonna cover, Max Welton got so famous. He was on packaging for Birdseed. He was doing mall appearances, and he made some incredible demands on his writer. He wanted his own tanning bed. He wanted only the New York Times to line his birdcage, a 24-hour on-call masseuse. Management killed that deal, and he was sent out to pasture, never to be heard from again. So they did a call, and every bird from Hollywood was there. You saw Big Bird, you saw Tweety, Woody Woodpecker, the entire cast of Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh,
But
wow. That's a lot of birds.
it is a lot of birds, but I was the only one from Phoenix, and that is what sealed the deal.
Okay, so I have a question about tanning beds and rotisserie chicken, but never mind. How were you nervous before the show? Like when you were back waiting for your time?
Anthony, do you know what we do every day? We fly. We fly over thousands and thousands of people every day. You think that me being on stage in front of a few thousand people is going to make me nervous? I am a professional.
I'm so sorry. Of course you are. I understand that, but it's just that in the video you seemed a little scared. Like you didn't take flight when Stevie was trying to release you. So I wondered why.
Let's do some real talk here, Anthony. We know Stevie wasn't in the best of shape and that she was going to Betty Ford the next morning. So what does an addict usually do if they know they're going to rehab? They're going to party like a rock star the night before. And I knew that's what was going to happen as soon as the show was over.
So you didn't want
And
to miss it.
if I had taken flight, I would never have been there. So I snuck into Mick Fleetwood's hat. And then the asshole makes a pass at me. And I have to, well, I'm not even going to get into it. But eventually I did get into the party.
I
It
might
was
need a
the
diagram later. I'm not sure.
No, sir. a gentleman does not kiss and tell. So I went to the
Okay.
party. It was the party to end all parties. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me up until that point.
So what happened after that? We didn't see you again.
Well, you see, I started partying like I thought I was my own rock star. It was very, very difficult for me to get more work. I was showing up late. I was hungover. And then the gigs that I was being sent out for all asked me to coo or sing, just singing, ooh, baby, ooh. And I just thought that was so stereotypical. And I had
Racist.
standards. It was so racist. But I did get booked on Touched by an Angel. And I was so happy until I accidentally shit on Della Reese's shoulder. And
Oh.
that was the end.
It wasn't an angel that touched her. I get it.
It was not an angel that touched her. So I ended up going to Betty Ford myself.
Oh,
And I'm proud to say that I am now clean and sober, and I work every day as a therapy dove to help other people get on the straight and narrow.
well, I am so glad to hear that you're doing well and happy and healthy. And I am accomplice in the dove battle against everyone assuming you ooh baby ooh all day. And I just want to thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate the opportunity to tell my story so that maybe the other birds out there in Hollywood can learn from my example. And by the way, while I have this pulpit, I support the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Good luck. So
Thank you very much.
Let's role play. I'll do the Stevie tries to get you airborne, and then you can fly away, and everyone will feel it's so wonderful and dramatic. Ready?
Let's do it. 1, 2,
3.
3.
Oh, well, again, thank you. I hope, Randy, can you track on Dwight? Then thank you for being here, and everyone will be right back after this message.
Today's episode is brought to you by Karen Johnson's Burn Cream. Were you the victim of a harsh breakup lyric by Stevie Nicks? Ask your doctor if Karen's Burn Cream is right for you. Allergic reactions have been reported in guitarists. You can talk to me.
Are we
talking now? There we go. It would have helped if you had put a mop on your head. That would have been like great hairography for that. I love this song.
Yes.
I love this song. I love the video. I love everything about this song. And I learned something new about it today
No way.
that I never knew. Yes. It was recorded in Nice, France.
Did not know.
Who knew? So a little bit about this, because I think this is the one of only 2 songs on the album that is completely not written by Stevie.
Which
right?
I was shocked when I learned that back in the day.
Right.
Wait a minute. Right.
It fits her to a T. And there's a lot of stories about apparently Jimmy Iovine was out shopping for a single for Stevie, right? That was like the thing. And so this is kind of where this song came from. But also around that time, he had approached Dave Stewart. And this is where Stevie and Dave first meet. The story goes that they met backstage after a Eurythmics concert. She had just broken up with Joe Walsh and went home with Dave Stewart.
Ooh.
And the next morning, Joe Walsh comes a knocking on her door, and she basically pushes Dave Stewart out the back door and says, "Don't come around here no more." So Dave Stewart and Tom Petty start writing "Don't Come Around Here No More," and they write it for Stevie. And so she comes in and they start working on it. And she works on it for a day. And depending on who you talk to, she either decides, no, this fits Tom Petty's voice better, or she's like, screw you guys for getting this far without my input. I'm not going to participate. And so she
Oh,
leaves.
I don't like that reaction. I hope that's not true.
My story behind that is that David Stewart actually wrote that song for me and sent me the track with one line on it. Don't come around here no more.
During the playbacks, Dave pictured himself on a giant mushroom with his sitar. And from there, we led into Alice.
We all went in the studio with me and David and Tom Petty, and the next day I came in and Tom had done a vocal on it. And because I was extremely selfish and spoiled rotten, I got very angry and fired everybody and stormed out. Told Tom to keep the song and thank you, David, and left. And I lost the song. I gave the song up.
And apparently, again, buried in the mix, you can hear her singing, "Don't come around here no more."
Oh,
but
okay.
her backup singers are on it. They're the backup singers for this.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And when she went on tour with Tom Petty in 2006, she sang backup on this song. So anyway, instead of doing that one, and also Bernie Taupin, who wrote with Elton John, wrote These Dreams for Stevie. And she said, nope, it's too on the nose. Thank you very much. And it went to Heart. And instead we got this. And I think that was brilliant. I think that was perfect for this album. Talk to Me.
It also, yes, I love this song. This song was an anthem. I was working in a restaurant, and when I would work the breakfast shift, we would have to get there an hour early and set up and everything. And I would blare this. We would take turns playing songs, and I would blare this every day, singing at the top of my lungs.
Was this Duck Soup?
No, it was a place before that called the Commissary.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yes.
That's interesting. I always, when you talk about restaurants, I just picture Duck Soup. When
I didn't have my part-time job there yet. No.
Okay. All right. I love the video. I love all the costume changes. I
always wondered if that was, there's costume changes, but they don't make any sense. So I was like, did she make like 6 videos? Like, no, I don't like that one. I want to make another one. And then they had to cobble something together. I always wondered about that because there's a couple of parts in it that you only see for seconds, like her with the candy canes and stuff. And you're like, wait, where did that come from?
Okay. So the candy canes especially are very interesting. So if you look at when she's walking up and down that hallway,
right,
and you look at the images on the sides,
right,
those are that's the artwork that shows her that she is in the other clips of the video. So you see the seascape, and then you see her singing in front of the seascape. Then you see the candy canes. That's actually a Stevie fan dressed up in Stevie's outfits. It's actually not her.
Wait, even in the full screen? I swear
just
there were a couple parts where she's like singing. All right, now you're going to make me watch the video, and one of us will be proven wrong, and we will show it here in an insert.
I think, and you guys let us know in the comments, but I think we should do a side-by-side comparison of the 2 versions of the video, because it was premiered on MTV with the world premiere day, and then it was re-edited, and the second edit is what we see.
Do you know why it was re-edited?
I had no clue.
I have not seen that first one you're talking about.
I sent it to you, so we should definitely do a watch of it.
We should,
and do commentary.
I'm just saying it will be, if you watch our reaction, it will be totally virgin for me.
Yes. So that'll be our mini episode that we'll do before we do the other side of the mirror.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, Talk to Me is just fun. It's just a fun, really cool song with some great lyrics, which is so shocking that Stevie didn't write them.
Right.
Let the walls burn down, set your secrets free. You can face them now because you're safe with me. Come on. The
walls run high, something about a swelling tear.
Oh yeah.
And then there's one line that's like, I think she kind of must have borrowed it later about something in the carpet, dusty words lying under carpets.
Under carpet. Seldom heard. Well, must you keep your secrets locked inside, hidden, safe from view? Okay, my one complaint with the video is at during the outro when she's just saying, Well, I can see you, baby. I can see you, baby. In the video, she's lip syncing to "I Can See You Running," and
Oh,
there's no reason that the editor could not have fixed that. There was no reason to show her, lip syncing the wrong words.
unless she never sang the right words. Unless she never lip synced the right words.
Yeah, but they could have shown her
Because
on the
my girl
bathroom
isn't a good lip
floor.
syncer.
No.
And
No,
that's
she's
wonderful
not.
talent in a performer. you know,
That's very true. But they could have inserted anything other than a close-up shot of her screwing up the lyrics.
sure.
And
this song though is another one that is an anthem. It's a
oh yeah,
I love it. It's definitely not a miss. And
yeah, it's great. Okay, let's talk about the nightmare.
Oh, the liner notes. I'm sorry, I Googled the notes on the lyrics on Google, and they have the talk to me. I don't know why. Talk to me. They have it with 3 T's divided by a hyphen. So you can
talk to me.
Yeah, I don't think she does it like that. Oh, and this is another one of the songs that if you turn it up the end, like the parts that are being drowned out are really cool.
Yeah. It's a
Again,
really great song.
Back to what we said earlier, this is another one where if you read the liner notes, there's a whole lot more lyrics after that.
Yeah.
I think whoever did the liner notes this time didn't get the vamp memo.
No. And it's a great, I wish she would do this one live more often, because that was one of the highlights of the Red Rocks video to me was her, because it was a new song and she was really excited about it.
Yeah.
And you could tell.
She
and
was
it was really
talking to us. Yeah.
She was. Okay, let's talk about the nightmare.
Okay, so wait, is that one she wrote? That is one she wrote, or no?
She wrote it with her brother Christopher.
And this one made sense that she wrote it. I like the song.
Okay.
Again, it's kind of a throwback to a lot of, it reminds me of her earlier stuff that I liked. Maybe a little too on the nose, but I didn't mind it. The Moon and Her Sisters.
Right.
Ancient Ways, Gold Dust Woman,
Drowning in the Sea. Yeah.
Right. What's the line about kind and never sharing any kind of your dreams or something?
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't too on the nose. I thought it was cool. I like the song a lot. And there's lots of vamp on that one. The lyrics end after like 4 paragraphs. It goes on for 3 more.
Right. It's okay. I unfairly, and I will cop to this, I unfairly compare it to Dreams, because you've got Dreams and you've got Nightmares, right?
Okay.
And it just does not hold a candle to Dreams. And I think of when you talk, this is the song to me that seems the most dated.
How dare you take them prisoner?
Yes. But I looked for this last night and I can't find it anywhere on my alternate Mirror playlist.
Okay.
There's a vocal mix of this that's really good, that if I'm gonna have to listen to this, I'd rather to listen to that. But it's not on YouTube anywhere. So the only place it is on my phone. That's the only place I can find it. So if anybody out there knows this, and maybe we can figure out a way to post like a snippet of it or something, to maybe jog some people's memories. But yeah, it's just it's okay, it's fine. But it doesn't mean anything to me, and I'd rather listen to Dreams than, especially some of the remixes of Dreams that I've heard. Hooked on Phonics, Hello. That's like the best remix of Dreams ever. Yeah. We're gonna have to post that video somewhere.
Okay, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay, so that
the only lyric on the Nightmare that skeeved me out is, well, I said I'd like to leave you with something warm, and my brain went somewhere it shouldn't go, probably.
yeah, it's just a little
okay, next, please.
But I love If I Were You. That's a song I put on other playlists. And it's a great, there aren't that many songs of Stevie's that I would think of as overly optimistic and joyful and positive. And this is one of them. right?
I agree.
And it makes me
Even
happy.
from the very opening, ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding. It's like, and that
Mhm.
scared my cat when I listened to it. She was just calmly sleeping on the table the entire first side and had played, and then the second side's on. And when that song started, those 4 dings, she just went,
Yep.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
That's so weird. So now you know what to do to scare your cat.
Oh, but I wouldn't want to scare my cat.
Exactly. But yeah, so I like that one. It's fun, it's beautiful. And then we go right into No Spoken Word, which I also really like.
Let's make a deal here.
That's right. And that's another one that's really good live. Like on the Red Rocks video. It was good. It was really good.
Yes, I love that song too.
Right.
I hadn't thought about it in a while, but when I was listening to it, it made me happy.
Yeah.
And it has 0 vamp.
It has 0 vamp.
Every lyric is there.
Yeah, it's all there. It's what was it she wanted? They say she had everything. Yeah, it's a good it's a good song. Okay. Has anyone ever written anything for you, Anthony?
Yes.
In all your darkest hours, have you ever heard me sing?
No. Yes, I have heard you sing.
I was
And in
about
my
to
darkest
correct you.
hours.
Yes.
I have.
I have given that to you. So when Fleetwood Mac's Greatest Hits came out, I got that CD and I poured over the liner notes, right? And it was, I don't remember who wrote them, but it was a music journalist, and he was recapping their concert in London. And at this point, Lindsey Buckingham had been fired the first time, and so they were going through the set list, and the journalist just said, all he says is, midway through the show, Stevie gives a beautiful rendition of "Has anyone ever written ... And I'm like, what is this? What Fleetwood Mac song is this? And of course this is pre-internet,
Okay.
so I'm going nuts because I've never heard it, and I'm searching, and I'm going to the library, and I'm pulling out all the Fleetwood Mac albums that I already have. I went and
library.
I went and bought Mirage. I went and bought Heroes Are Hard to Find, because I didn't know that wasn't a Stevie Nicks Fleetwood Mac album. Like, I couldn't find this anywhere. And I searched for 2 years. And then I came across the Red
I was
Rocks
still
video.
4 years away when you found it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I found it on the Red Rocks video. That's where I found it.
Ah.
And so my first exposure
What
to
a
that song,
place to have the first. Oh, okay.
right. And I'm telling you, like, teen angst was in full force.
Of course it was. It was summoned by that performance on the Red Rocks tour.
It was. And I'm watching it, and Dwight the Dove is there, and I'm crying. It was just beautiful. It was
this is another one that harkens back to Lindsey Buckingham's stupid comment about flaky. If this is flaky, give me all the flaky there is. I will take it all, because it is a gorgeous song. This is probably the opera moment on the album.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it is. And it's a beautiful closer. It's the perfect way to end the album.
Yeah.
It
is a little precursor, I think, lyrically, if Mabel Normand disease is a thing. This is not you don't know you have it yet. You're not stage 1 yet. You haven't gone to the doctor,
right,
in terms of the wordiness of the lyrics, but it still was gorgeous and worked. But
yes, it did.
That's the way I look. Even the title is that, at least.
Yeah, it is. And probably my favorite performance of it is actually her storyteller's performance, right?
Okay.
And so for those of you that don't know, Stevie was on the Wild Heart tour, and Joe Walsh was opening for her, and they started dating during that tour. and at some point she was doing a concert in Denver, and she was in a really bad mood, and she said she doesn't even remember what it was about, but Joe decided to kind of put her life in perspective, and so he rented a Jeep and they drove up to Boulder, which is about 2 hours away. And on the way, he talked about he had a daughter, and the only thing that she had ever complained about was that she was too short to reach the drinking fountains. And I'm getting choked up just talking about this. And then she was killed by a drunk driver on her way to school.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so as a tribute, he built a drinking fountain in the park near his house, and he dedicated it to Emma Kristen and anyone else who's too small to get a drink.
Oh.
And that's what inspired her to go home. As soon as the tour was over, she walked into her house, according to her, sat down at her Bosendorfer piano, and wrote this song in 5 minutes. And it was for Joe Walsh, for what unimaginable thing he just went through. So that's what, has anyone ever written anything for you?
I knew none of
about
that, so that's a beautiful story. I love that.
It is. I'll send you the link to the storyteller's performance, because she talks about that, and she writes it in the liner notes of Time Space, and that's the first time
I'll have to
I
look
read
this
it.
right here. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe I read it and don't remember.
yeah.
The thing I love most about the song is, of course, the end, the poet, priest of nothing, magic part, which is why the Red Rocks part is so fun to watch in a bizarre way, because I don't know, have you already seen this?
No, she does it right after the song.
After. Okay, so they blend together, they talk to each other, those two events, because there's a point in the song where she's like, poet, priest of nothing. Have I said that part yet? Let me say it again.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, did I get to the poet, priest of nothing part? I'll just do it one more time. You know, magic, Volkswagens,
right.
circumnavigate, you know.
It reminds me. Yeah, it very much is. And she was doing that throughout the entire concert, because I'll never forget this, when she is performing Stand Back, right? And she is into it, and you can tell she's got some extra energy.
She was making a cake.
Yeah, she was making a cake, and the part where it goes, it's all right, and then she said, it's not all right. And you can see Delaney's head whip around to look at her, because she's like, that's not what we're supposed to see.
I have not caught that. I will look tonight. So that was
that was totally ad-libbed.
Love that.
Sharon's trying to get her back on track, like standing in a line. It's so awesome. That concert is amazing. I don't care about the additional close-ups. I don't care. That 15-minute Edge of 17.
Well, it's also kind of bizarre and absurd in a way, while being totally serious and a wonderful performance. You know, I love the absurd, right?
Yes.
So I don't mind the crazy close-ups and all. I don't.
No.
I feel bad she thinks she needed them.
Yes.
But I don't mind them. Yeah.
No, I don't mind them at all.
It's her thing. If she wants to show the back of her head the entire time, go for it.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it was a great concert. I love Red Rocks because of that concert. I love that amphitheater. And it was wild. That's also, that concert is the same time I heard Beauty and the Beast for the first time.
Which is, again, another beautiful performance. Yeah.
Right.
So note to everyone, if you can get access to Live at Red Rocks somewhere streaming, if we can find it, we'll put notes about it, but try to find it. If not, just dig through YouTube. Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. It really is an amazing showcase of her talent. And knowing that she knew she was going, like this was the end of her party days, right? And she was going I'm sure she was worried it might be the end of everything. Of her life, not physically, but like, I'll be washed up, I'll never work again. I'm sure she was worried and had all kinds of crazy thoughts in her head. And she showed she wasn't ready to go. No, she left it all out there on the stage. Yep. And I think that was wonderful. She did redo all of the vocals. So somewhere out there online, listeners, is the unedited vocals on download.
and it's really not that different. It's more raspy. It's way more rock a little-ish, which is fine with me. Because every time I get a cold, I threaten to record my Rock a Little tribute album track by track.
Have you any dreams? That's what you should
Right.
record with your cold.
Right. Yes.
So in the liner notes, it just has Poet and Priest of Nothing. She
Right.
definitely sings Legend in the studio version, right? After those two. And I think in the Red Rocks, she
Yes.
adds Magic.
I don't know.
I
I'll have
thought
to
she
go
did.
back.
But again, lots of vamp left
There
out
is.
the liner notes.
When she does it for storytellers, the thing that I like about that is that while they're playing the piano vamp, she says, and sometimes they ask her about the men in her life, and they do ask her, and she says
That
they
is
were poets.
that is so Delta Burke when she says that. Delta Burke's Designing Women character. That's who I hear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but go ahead.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And sometimes they ask her about the men in her life, and they do ask. I can
And they
just
do ask
see
her.
Suzanne, no, Julia Sugar. Yeah, Suzanne Sugarbaker saying.
Suzanne, yeah. Yep, for sure. But yeah, so that is the album, and that is Red Rocks as well. It's a great little package because this is, well, Belladonna had a concert video as well. I wish Wild Heart had a concert video. This album has a concert video and a VHS collection of all of her videos up until that point.
Right.
So you got Talk to Me, I Can't Wait, Stop Dragging My Heart Around, Stand Back, If Anyone Falls, and Leather and Lace with the two girls singing the Don Henley part.
Was that the collection that also included the Civil War Stand Back?
No, that didn't come out
later.
until Crystal Visions, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a great album. And I'm glad we got to talk about it because it made me reappreciate it. I don't really,
Definitely.
If we hadn't done this, I would not have listened to it from back to front, as Stevie likes to say, and gained a new appreciation for the album. So I would like to know from our listeners, what's your favorite track? What do you think of the album? Is there, and of the tracks that were recorded but then not added to the album, which there's a lot, and I'll list them in our blog. Two that I want to point out are Battle of the Dragon, which is amazing. And then another one that was recorded or demoed that was rejected by Rock a Little and Tango in the Night.
Don't say it.
It's going to be on Dolly Parton's new album.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, nope, you're wrong. There's going to be a Rock a Little track that's been re-recorded for Dolly Parton's new album out in November called What Has Rock and Roll Ever Done for You? And I love the demo and Anthony hates it.
To speak of this, one of the B-sides from this album, reduced to B-side, is Rock and Roll Star.
Rock and Roll Star.
That's crazy. It's not really one of my favorites lyrically or musically, but the performance, I can't say I just love it,
Right. And again, with the Mabel Normand diseise creeping in,
bit,
I mean, let's come up with titles of songs. Right. A little shorter. Rock and Roll Star, something like that. But yeah, and that's actually on the collection too. That's on the rarities. So when we get to the rarities part of this collection,
I had the 45 it was on, so I was familiar.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize it wasn't on the album.
Yeah,
because I'm oblivious.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm very oblivious. Randy can tell you all, oblivious.
Every once in a while, but you also remember things that I don't, and expect me to say.
Superpower.
It is.
I remember the things no one else remembers.
It's very true. It is very true. Well, all right, folks, please like, share, subscribe, leave comments. We're doing this for ourselves, but we really appreciate the fact that people are listening.
Yeah, we are seeing the analytics in the different platforms.
Yeah.
But my mom's
Like-
not alive anymore. Who could be listening?
My mom's not going to listen that much. She might listen once, but she's not
Yeah,
going to listen that
yeah.
much.
Your mom is listening to the hundreds of times, right? Okay. Thank you, Janet. Mama
Yes.
Ham, appreciate you.
Thank you so much. All right. So
Is Dwight okay?
Dwight's fine. He's
Okay.
he's munching on some bird seed.
Okay.
He's on his phone. I think he's talking to an agent right now.
Okay, cool.
Maybe our podcast is going to help give him a second career.
Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah,
Said,
yeah.
ooh.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's
yay.
not-
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Or do this. Call.
Call.
All right, Anthony, I'll let you do the honors this time.
Well, thank you for listening this week, everyone, and we will see you on the other side of the mirror.
And we will. All right, said Alice.
Bye.
Bye-bye.